FBI, open up! The battering ram hit our front door before I could even process what was happening. 6 agents in tactical gear swarmed into my room with weapons drawn, shouting commands over each other. One ripped my headset off, while another yanked me out of my gaming chair. My mom was screaming downstairs. They threw me on the floor, and one screamed, "Hands behind your back!" I was cuffed, laying on the ground as I watched my character get eliminated on screen. Final 2 players. I'd been so close. They sat me on my bed and tore through everything I owned. Mom and Dad were brought upstairs, and both of them looked terrified. The lead agent was a woman with short gray hair, and she pulled out a tablet. "Your son has been making terroristic threats online. We have recordings." She pressed play, and my voice came through clear as day. "Gonna eliminate everyone in the building. Nobody's getting out. Taking out at least 20 people." Mom gasped. Dad's face went white. "I didn't threaten anyone. I was playing Fortnite. It's a video game." "We know what Fortnite is," another agent said, bagging my gaming PC. "These recordings don't sound like any game." Dad looked at me like I was a stranger. "Kevin, if you're planning something, you need to tell us right now." "I'm not planning anything. It's a game." 2 agents came upstairs holding printed Discord messages and showed them to my parents. "Hitting Pleasant at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Got my whole loadout ready. Taking the high ground and picking everyone off." "Those are locations in the game," I shouted. The lead agent's face didn't change. A younger agent spoke from the doorway. "His teachers say he's isolated, eats lunch alone, spends all his time gaming. They found my notebook with Fortnite strategies, and the agent photographed every page, calling it tactical planning." The lead agent showed my parents a pamphlet titled Warning Signs of Teen Violence and started naming school shootings: Columbine, Parkland, Uvalde. Each name made Mom cry harder. Dad tried to defend me. "Kevin's never been violent, never been in a fight. That's what every parent says right before it happens." The agent's radio crackled. "School sweep complete. No explosives, no weapons. Building is secure." The lead agent frowned. "He could have stashed them elsewhere. Tell me where they're hidden. There's nothing to hide. Play the whole recording, dum-dum." The lead agent stared at me for a long moment, then nodded to the tech agent. He pulled up the first recording, unedited. My voice came through. "I'm gonna eliminate everyone in the building. Nobody's getting out. I'm taking out at least 20 people in this game. Miles, which building are you pushing in Pleasant Park?" Then Miles's voice. "The one by the gas station. How many players left?" Me again. "Looks like a full squad. 4 players. We can take them." The agent's face changed completely. Every recording had the same pattern. Someone had deliberately stripped out every word that proved I was talking about a video game, and what was left sounded like a terroristic threat. "These were edited," she said quietly. "No duh, donkey. You got peas for brains or what?" She stood there for a second, then unlocked my handcuffs. They left in 5 minutes. No apology. My monitor was still on. Someone else got the victory royale. Frick! I threw my controller through the screen. While I was at the zoo, someone yelled, "Oh my God, he's gonna fall in." I turned around. "What? Who?" I realized my son Tommy wasn't next to me, and that's when I saw where she was pointing. He was climbing over the top of an enclosure. "Tommy, what the hell are you doing?" He looked over at me. "Look, Dad, I'm gonna feed them," someone shouted. "They're gonna pull you inside. Get down from there." And that's when I saw the banana. I looked over and saw the sign, Silverback Gorillas. I started pushing through the crowd, but everyone was just filming instead of helping. "Tommy, get down from there. Look, Dad, it's Donkey Kong." The huge gorillas were walking over to him now, wanting the banana. I finally pushed my way up to the glass, but Tommy was too high on top of the wall. The gorillas beat their chests, screaming for the banana. "Tommy, put the banana down and get off the fence." But he wasn't listening. He thought they were friendly. He started waving the banana around. The gorilla started jumping for it. My heart was racing. I had to do something. I started banging on the glass, trying to scare them away. "Hey, back off! Get away from him!" But banging on the glass only made things worse. The gorillas got more agitated. "Tommy, get the hell down right now! I'm gonna give them a snack, Dad." "Tommy, no!" He leaned forward, stretching his arm out as far as it could go, and the gorilla reached up. It didn't just grab the banana, it grabbed Tommy's entire arm. Tommy fell completely into the gorilla den. "Ah, Tommy, oh my God!" Everyone watched and recorded as both gorillas went absolutely insane. The zookeepers finally ran in, but just as I thought they were gonna save my boy's life, one of the zookeepers yelled, "Hey, stop, drop the banana." They completely ignored my son, and just as the gorilla held the banana above his mouth, they screamed, "Stop!" Tommy started crawling toward the zookeepers, reaching out for help, but they literally stepped around him, like he wasn't even there. "What are you doing? Save my son!" The gorilla almost took a bite, but the zookeepers fired tranquilizers. It immediately fell over and hit the ground, and Tommy ran outside crying. I turned to the head zookeeper. "What the hell was that? Why didn't you save my son?" The zookeeper had the audacity to look annoyed. "Sir, a regular banana can contaminate these gorillas. Do you know how expensive they are?" I couldn't hold back. I swung at the zookeeper's face, blood going everywhere. I didn't think that would be enough to put him into a coma, but he deserved it, because Tommy can't even look at a banana anymore without having a panic attack. I was swimming in a lake when I caught a rotting smell pooling around me. It was so strong it made me gag, so I decided to just just get out. But while swimming towards shore, I felt something brush against my leg. I figured it was just weeds and kept going. But then 5 human-like fingers wrapped around my ankle and squeezed hard. I went pale and kicked as hard as I could. The fingers kept holding on and dragged my whole body under. I kept thrashing and thankfully freed my leg. I came up choking and swam to shore faster than ever. I called police, who sounded skeptical but still sent divers. I was at home wondering if I was just crazy when I got a call telling me to come to the station. The officer told me they found out what grabbed me. Directly below where I was swimming, the divers found a car. Inside, it was a dead woman still buckled into the driver's seat. She'd been down there for 3 weeks. I shook my head and told the cop there was no way it was her. Whatever grabbed me had wrapped its fingers and squeezed, and dead people can't do that. The cop shook his head and said that's what makes this so disturbing. When the divers found her, her window was down and her arm was floating out of it, drifting upward in the water. An underwater current had formed beside her as I was swimming, and the pressure of the moving water closed her fingers around my ankle. Apparently, the current was also getting stronger, and had I not felt her fingers and decided to swim away, I would have been pulled under for good. My grandpa with Alzheimer's walked into a tattoo shop and asked the artist for a tattoo of a man with dark hair, a sharp jawline, and a moon-shaped mole on his left cheek. This was the man who killed Grandpa's wife. His trial was in 3 months, but there were no police sketches of him, so Grandpa needed the tattoo to identify him in court before his Alzheimer's got worse, and he forgot what the man looked like. The tattoo artist nodded and started the tattoo, but halfway through, I noticed it was turning out nothing like Grandpa described. The tattoo had light hair, a small nose, and the mole on the left cheek was missing. I told the artist to stop, but he insisted he was almost done and tried to keep going. I helped Grandpa out of his chair, and when he saw the tattoo, he was furious. We tried to walk out, but the artist blocked our path, saying the tattoo he was doing was exactly what Grandpa asked for. We pushed past him and drove to a new tattoo shop where a different artist covered the incorrect tattoo and replaced it with the correct face. Dark hair, sharp jawline, and the moon-shaped mole on the left cheek. 3 months later, the trial happened. Grandpa could barely remember why he was here. The defendant's lawyer argued there was no proof the killer was at Grandpa's house that night, but I pointed to the tattoo and asked then how it was possible that the man's face matched the tattoo perfectly. The killer was sentenced, but while being led away, a man with the exact same moon-shaped mole on his left cheek walked over to him. He hugged the killer and said, "I'm sorry, Dad. I tried." I recognized the man as the artist who did Grandpa's first tattoo. I realized he was the killer's son. He'd tried to sabotage the tattoo so Grandpa couldn't identify his own father in court. The girls from my class screamed because a famous singer was coming to visit our high school. He was supposed to get here any minute, but when I saw our teacher, Mr. Brown, in the hallway, he looked nervous. He ran down the hallway, and I thought, how cool can this celebrity be? But when we finally walked into the gym, as soon as we got inside, they slammed the doors behind us. Police officers were waiting inside, telling us to sit down. We were all really confused, but when police dogs started searching us, I knew something was wrong. Then, our principal yelled, "Everyone with a gray shirt, come down immediately." They all walked down, and the cops took them outside. Now we were scared. We had to sit there for hours, not even getting to eat lunch, and people were furious. One guy tried to fight one of the cops, but they slammed him on the ground and put him in handcuffs, telling everyone to stay calm. People were crying, calling their parents saying they were scared, but they couldn't even get to us. Police were completely surrounding the building. "Just tell us what's happening." The principal finally grabbed the microphone. He was sweating, and we could tell he was scared. "Students, there is currently an active bomb threat in the bathrooms. Mr. Brown confirmed it. Nobody is allowed to leave." Everyone went completely silent and started freaking out. They started flooding towards the exits. "Let us out," but the police were tackling them. They were fighting the cops. Parents started trying to break down the doors, and everyone was panicking. But when one guy stood up, Mr. Brown saw his gray shirt under his hoodie. There he is!" They grabbed him and rushed him out, yelling at him to admit he did it. He yelled that didn't know what they were talking about. They were furious. But just as the officer was about to swing, the door burst open. A detective yelled, "Wait! Stop!" Everyone froze. She ran in holding an iPad and showed us the footage, and that's when we found out what happened. Turns out, Mr. Brown completely misunderstood when he overheard that student telling another boy in the hallway, "I'm so gonna blow up the bathroom later today." I thought my student was mute. Turns out he'd been speaking the entire time. Kai was a new boy in my art class who was pale and way too skinny for an 8-year-old. When I welcomed him, he flinched backwards, but his mom explained he was just shy because he was mute and chronically ill. As soon as she left, Kai sat down and got to work.